Hello, and thank you very much for joining me again today. And I'm back with Mr. Khaliphani Phugeni. How are you, sir? Spokesman for Dr. Thokozani Coupe of MDCT.
Yes. Good morning. How are you?
I am very well. Yeah. And we're back together again.
Yeah. Today I'm wearing my Pollard t-shirt in solidarity with Pollard, since everyone seems to be worked up on their studio as far as Pollard is concerned.
I like it.
They'll
be
strong. They'll be strong.
How does one get a t-shirt like this?
Okay, I'll arrange.
Okay, all right, cool.
I'll arrange.
Right.
Yeah.
So today we've got two issues that I want us to address.
Yeah.
Firstly, Tinashe Jonas came back yesterday.
Okay.
He said he was abducted by people who wanted him to join Pollard.
Okay.
What is your statement or response to that?
Okay, maybe before I address Jonas, I just need to say something from a Sunday interview.
Yes.
That I want to apologize to your viewers for referring to Nelson Chamisa as a child and as a boy. I realize that the platform really is to speak to your audience, and I allowed the anger of the cyberbullying that Chamisa has deployed against Dr. Coupe and people like myself and Chief, the one I referred to on that interview. I allowed that anger to overtake me, and it may have the effect of being a barrier to effective communication. So I want to apologize, and I think there are better platforms where I can address that cyberbullying than your interviews. So henceforth, I'll restrict myself to just calling him Nelson Chamisa.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
Yes, and I'm sure thousands of people will be happy to hear that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look, I was raised better than this. So yeah, I lay down myself and my family. I can't be exactly like he is. That's not who I am. Let me come to Jonas. You sent me the video. Unfortunately, I didn't watch it. I didn't have to,
yes,
to be able to deal with the Jonas issue. In our last meeting of the 22nd, in Pollard, the one we did in Kadoma in Kwekwe, we were dealing with members of a certain alliance or a PEC that wanted to come now as individual political parties to Pollard. Okay. And we said, no, that cannot happen, because the people who participate in Pollard are only presidential candidates. So if your party, like, let me give you an example. MTC Alliance can come as an alliance. You can't have people who pull out of that alliance and say, we want to come and be part of Pollard. Our MOU, our setup says you needed to have participated in that election as a presidential candidate. So, Jonas, that's wishful thinking. We couldn't accommodate him. Even if he came himself, we couldn't accommodate him. It's virtually impossible. So it's laughable, really, that he will then think that Pollard will try and get people to force him to join us when he actually can't join us. Legally, he can't join us, because he didn't run as a presidential candidate. I don't know which party he belonged to before the elections. If he belonged to the alliance, he will then have to convince Chamisa to come to Pollard. That's how he can be part of Pollard. But by being Jonas and being popular here on your show and other places, that does not qualify him a place at Pollard. It does not get a seat on those bases at Pollard.
Okay, I think that is covered. So now I want to go to the next question.
Okay.
You dismiss someone like Jonas,
yeah,
as not being qualifying to get into Pollard.
Yes.
But we had a minister like Ziyambi Ziyambi,
yeah,
basically saying Pollard is a talk show.
Okay.
This week. What do you say about that?
Minister Ziyambi Ziyambi is mischievous.
Okay.
Yeah, he's mischievous. But maybe before I demonstrate to you why I'm saying he's mischievous, and I'm really toning down here.
Yes.
I could have used stronger terms, but let me just leave it at him just being mischievous. I'm going to demonstrate. But there is a positive that came out of that mischief from him. Is that you guys in the private media and the Alliance crowd, you've been saying Pollard is a ZANU project. That's what you've been saying. On Sunday, you said Pollard is just a platform to launder or to legitimize His Excellency's presidency. And I think what this mischief by the minister has actually proved to the contrary. It shows you that these are individual parties that have retained their individuality and ideologies. And here, that's why you find a ZANU minister pushing back, because he realizes that we mean business. We want him to account. So out of this mischief, to any fair-minded person, any sober-minded person, or any logical person, you then realize that by Dr. Kupe being part of Pollard, she did not become ZANU. She is not working to further a ZANU agenda, but she maintains and retains her agenda and her party. Hence, you find this mischief from the minister. Now, let me attend to why I'm saying the minister is mischievous. In his speech on the 22nd, His Excellency at his farm, I watched him, by the way, very closely, because after the media backlash we got, I really wanted to see if we're being taken through a garden path, or, you know, he's just stringing us along. So I watched his body language from the time he came onto that podium right until he finished his speech. And I must say, after we left the people I spoke to, I said, I now have a different view of the man. I looked at his body language when Honorable Nyikadzino presented the program of Pollard. I then looked at him when he stood up to speak to the president now. He had a speech prepared for him. This is my view, because I could see him refer to his tablet. He had a speech prepared for him. But he left that speech. He would just look every now and then. He left that speech and he started speaking from the heart. Okay. And this is what he says. And this is very instructive. He says, I'm quoting him verbatim, by the way. He says, Pollard is such an important platform for Zimbabwe. And he says, as far as he's concerned, unless there's something he doesn't know, there is no such an important platform internationally and even in the African context. He goes further to say, all of my ministers, now this is very important, all of my ministers are under instruction from me to appear before you as and when you call them on matters of policy. Okay. So when Ziyambi Ziyambi says we are not a governing platform, we have nothing to do with issues of policy, what he simply does is, first with this call to come and do as the president instructed him to do, he runs straight to the alliance speaking points. And he can't effectively say what he said about Pollard without speaking at cross purposes with the president, or basically challenging the president. That's what he's doing. So we as Pollard, we take a dim view of his statements, but if I was him, I would be worried at what I say, especially on such an issue as this, considering in view of the pronouncements, international pronouncements by His Excellency. Because remember, Ziyambi Ziyambi is serving at the pleasure of the president. So we as MTCT, by the way, we realize that some of the ministers, they are still in the First Republic of Mugabe. Okay. And the president is trying to create a second republic, where he said, this is what he said in the very same speech, he said, I will subject ZANU-PF's policies to Pollard, so that we can see how you can assist us in enhancing these policies, achieve growth for our people and our country. That's what the president said. It's there. His speech is on YouTube, on Facebook. You can listen to it. So when a minister comes and say what he says, what makes him different from other ministers who have subjected themselves to Pollard? The Minister of Finance, Honorable Professor Ncube, has come before Pollard. The Minister of Economic Development has also come before Pollard. I think there are about 3 ministers already that have come before Pollard. And the debate was around their policies and what impact do they have on the people. let me conclude by saying on this matter, I'm really not trained to read the minister's intentions, by the way, when he made this statement.
Yes.
But I can tell you the impact. The impact of his reckless statement is to undercut the president's commitment.
Okay. Right. So I want us to keep this very, very short.
Yeah.
And as you conclude,
Yeah.
can you advise me when is the next Pollard meeting?
The next Pollard meeting is starting on Friday.
Okay.
And you will do well to come.
All right.
Because I think the problem with you guys is you wait for those that the president, His Excellency, called in the political wilderness to try and communicate about Pollard. They seem to be louder than us. We are in the meeting, we are running this thing. They must come in and stop this mischief that they are doing, to always think they can comment about something which they are not part of.
Right. Mr. Khaliphani Phugeni, I'm going to end it here for our WhatsApp audience.
All right.
And thank you very much for joining me.
Okay.
I'll try to make it to Pollard
on
Friday.
Yeah, come, then you'll get your t-shirt.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, thank you.